What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to go over something that I know a lot of you guys probably have questions about, which is is Amazon really something that you can make profit from? Is it really what everybody else is talking about? Now guys, there's a lot of things to consider here when it comes to revenue versus profit, and also the fact that you guys can just throw up a product and expect it to sell, which is not the case. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how there's a common misconception that you can just throw up a product and just leave it and it's automatically going to sell and make you money forever. And that is not the case. You got to remember, guys, that there's always new competition coming in on the Amazon. You can't just throw up a product, even if it's a good product that's not competitive. You can't just throw it up and then just leave it and expect it to sell. Sure, you might make money within the first couple months or so, but there's always going to be new competitors coming in. There's always going to be someone that's trying to one up you, or someone that's trying to figure out how to differentiate their product, how to make their listing look better than yours. And once they succeed with that, they're going to one up you, and then your listing is going to start being devalued when it comes to when the customers see your listing. They're gonna be like, oh, I see this other person has a much better picture, much better listing, much more better packaging and product differentiation, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy this guy's product. So you guys definitely have to keep that in mind. Now the second thing is that you can't just throw up a random product, right? You can't just look at a product marketplace like the analyzer ruler, right? If we just looked at that and we were like, okay, I want to sell this exact same thing, since everybody else is selling this exact same product using the exact same pictures, I'm going to do the same thing too. And that's a problem that I had on my first product, is that I thought I can do that, just throw it up and expect it to sell, and that's not the case. You got to ask yourself, why would someone want to buy your product over someone else's? Is it because it looks different? Is it because it's a different color? Is it because it's a different bundle? You have to, all these things come into play here. You have to ask yourself these questions, because if you don't do that before you launch your product, before you make your product listing, then you're going to have a lot of problems when it comes to sticking on the marketplace and differentiating yourself so that other people buy your product. Now, going on to the third thing, if we throw up if people throw up a product sometimes it won't work and people just give up. And so it's not what you think, guys. Like I said, you can't just throw it up and think it's going to automatically sell, even if it's like a 10K per month product, and then you just throw it up there, you make the listing, it's in stock and everything. You can't expect it to sell just like that. That's not how it works. There's different steps you have to take, especially when it comes to the product launch, using Amazon PPC, using viral launch or ZonJump, and then using Facebook ads. All these things come into play, not just the product. The product launch is half of the process, is 50%. The other 50% of Amazon FBA is actually picking the right product. So you can't just throw it up and expect it to sell just like that. And if it doesn't sell, a lot of times what people will do is, I've done this on my first product, is they liquidate it, they try to get rid of it, they try to send it back. Now guys, if you know it's a good product, the stats look good, if you see people are making money with it, low reviews, and there's low competition, that means you can do it too. You just need to figure out what you can do in order to differentiate yourself. Number one, if that means adding another add-on product, whether it's an ebook or a thank you card, and then on top of that, you need to figure out what you may be doing wrong when it comes to either the Amazon PPC, or the fact that you didn't use the right keywords, or you didn't do your proper keyword research, or you didn't launch it properly. You didn't give away enough units in order to rank with those top competitors. So all these things come into play. And another thing too is, it's not what you think when it comes to how much it costs to. A lot of people say, oh, it costs like $1,500 or just $1,000 just to get started. That will maybe cover some product costs, maybe, just depending on how long it takes for your product to be manufactured, how much time the supplier needs. But you also have to consider the fact that you need money for the actual product launch, which is going to be another $500 to even $1,000, depending on how many units you have to give away. Because people will be like, okay, I have money to do a giveaway, I have money to do a product launch, but they don't consider the extra FBA fees that you have to pay when giving these products away, right? Let's say you give away 50 product or 50 units. and each one of the units is a $6 fee, then that's already $300 that you're spending, out of pocket, adding on to your whole entire product. So you have to consider that, guys, especially people that are getting into more competitive products. If you don't keep that in mind, then you're gonna have a lot of problems when it comes to budgeting. And all in all, product costs anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000, and then on top of that, you have to count in the giveaways and stuff, which can at most, I'd say on the high side, be around $2,800 to $3,000. So I'm not saying you guys can't do this. Like, if you don't have the money to do this, that's fine. Like, literally, if you have the money to buy the product, that's great. That's the main thing that you need. You need the product. Make sure you find a good product, and then you get over to Amazon and start saving, start working some more to get enough money to start doing a product launch. Now, if that takes 1 to 2 months, that's fine. The marketplaces aren't going to just flip just like that. They're not going to be, minorly competitive 1 month and then super competitive the next month after that. So, guys, you have to keep that in mind as well. And this stuff that I'm talking about is a common misconception. And the next thing I want to get into, which is a big thing, is the profit margin and revenue. People will be like, if you go on YouTube, all over the place, it doesn't matter. It doesn't even have to be on Amazon. But if you look at what people are making, they're like, okay, I make $30,000 a month, or I make $50,000 a month. Usually the profit margins are close to half with that. Some of them are a little bit less, and then some of them maybe upwards of 60% to even 70%. It all just depends. No one's profit margins are the same, because you have to factor in the FBA fees, and you have to factor in how much the product weighs, how much it costs to manufacture it, and you have to consider the fact how much you have to pay for air shipping fees and storage fees, etc., through Amazon and through your supplier. So, guys, if you're making $30,000 a month of revenue with Amazon, you're probably making upwards of anywhere from $15,000 all the way up to $25,000, or $20,000, somewhere in that range. So generally, on average, FBA fees are like $5.50 to $6. And then if you have something that weighs a little bit over a pound, it's probably going to be like $6.50, somewhere around there. So don't be surprised if your profit margins are only anywhere from 40% to like 60%. Somewhere they should be somewhere in between there. If it's more, great. If it's less, then you might want to reconsider, because it might be too expensive. You might not reach the goals that you want to. That's a problem that I had too. You find a great product on Amazon, or you find one on the web app or through Jungle Scout, and you go to the supplier and you find out that it costs a ton of money to manufacture and source, especially things that cost like $3 to $5 per unit. So I just want to get that all out there, guys, just to blow off any misconceptions or myths, and just give you the real thing of what you guys need to understand and take in, because it's not all what everyone else is saying. It's not that you're going to be making big money just off the start. And a lot of people, they just give up once their product sells out, or not sells out, but it doesn't do well. So if your product doesn't do well, if you picked a bad product, if you picked a bad product, then you should definitely get onto them, save up, sell those out, use the money that you made on that product, and if you didn't make any money, just bring it all back, sell it on a different platform like eBay, or even go to these giveaway groups, etc. Make some money off of that and invest in a new product, guys. You're not in the end, you're not really losing any money. You're just investing it now and seeing what happens, so that later, just in case it doesn't work, you'll still make your money back in order to invest into another product. It's just like a cycle. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and got something out of it, because I know jumping on the Amazon, you see all the success, see all the like, oh, I found this $40,000 a month product, and you look at these products, they say they find a $40,000 a month product, and then when you go look at the product yourself, it's just like the stats have changed. Manufacturers might have changed their pricing. You have to factor in how much it weighs and all this other stuff. So hopefully you guys understand all that, because a lot of it can be misleading. So make sure you guys like down below, make sure you subscribe, Sorry about this video, guys. I'm having it uploaded in the morning, but I'm filming. I was filming this video at nighttime when everyone is sleeping, so I may be a little bit quiet. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.